Yes, yes, yes. And we are live. We are live. We are live. Welcome back to EMGM Sports, my people. It's me, your boy Enzo, the realest in the game. The Monday recap. The Monday recap, man. We're gonna talk, we're gonna talk everything that happened at the weekend. The Buatsi versus Zach Parker. We're gonna talk about that fight. We're gonna talk about Liam Cameron versus Troy Jones. We're gonna talk about Bradley Ray versus Lyndon. That was an epic fight. That was a good fight. If you're in the audience, let me know. Is the sound good? Just give me a thumbs up in the comments. Give me a thumbs up in the comments. Give me a little thumbs up. Or just tell me, yes, Enzo, the sound is good. Let me know, my people. Let me know. But should be a good show today. Like I said, my people, every Monday, I want to start doing these lives from now on. Yeah, we catch up on some weekend boxing and any other boxing news as well. As you can see on the screen, on my left side, here, on my left side, you can see the topic of discussion, the talking points, what we're going to cover. We're going to start off with a Liam Cameron versus Troy Jones fight. Then we're going to go into the Bradley Ray versus Lyndon fight. Then we're going to finish off on the Buatsi versus Parker to wrap up that card that happened on Saturday. We're going to talk a little bit of Jake Paul versus Tank Davis. I'm hearing that fight is cancelled. That's what we're hearing because obviously Tank Davis has got some domestic. He's got some domestic happening. It's got some domestic happening. So that fight looks like it might not happen. Yeah. So we're gonna talk about a bit of Jake Paul, Tank Davis. I don't really care too much about that fight. It's a gimmick. Anyway, do you know what I mean? It's an exhibition, so I don't really care too much about it. Then we're gonna talk about any other boxing news. We're gonna check out any other boxing news. If there's any topic that you want to talk about that's not on the screen, then let me know. We can cover it as we go along. So yeah, just drop it down in the comments. We can cover it as we go along. And what I'm gonna do as well, from maybe not next week. Yeah, actually, you know what? Maybe from next week. Next Monday, what I might do is I might start bringing some of you guys up. Some of you guys that follow the channel for a while now. I'm gonna start bringing you guys up. So if you got a camera, which I'm sure all of you do, like if you got an iPhone or whatever, if you wanna come on the show and talk to Enzo, the realest in the game, maybe from next week, I want to start bringing some of you guys up on the live and we're going to have a conversation. Yeah, so we might do that. Let me know in the comments how you feel about that. Are you confident to be on camera? If you're confident enough to be on camera, let me know. I want to bring you on camera so that we can have a chat. You can ask me some questions, or you can just talk about a fight in general, whatever. Do you know what I mean? I feel like me as a fan, I always wanted a platform to give my opinion or vent my frustrations. And I know a lot of you guys and girls are big boxing fans and you want to have your say. And sometimes, in the comments, you're limited. I don't know how much YouTube gives you. Probably limited to 2,000 characters, whatever. Yeah. So that might not be enough for you to really say what you want to say, to really express yourself. So I will be giving people the opportunity to come on the channel and have a proper chat for 5-6 minutes. Ask me questions. I'll ask you questions. We talk boxing. You can ask me, whatever you want to ask me. You know what I mean? Some tough questions, whatever. So yeah, from next week, I think that's what I'm gonna be doing from next week, man. But how's everyone anyway? How's everyone? How does everyone like the new setup or the stream? I'm trying to improve the stream every single live. I'm trying to make it more engaging, you know. So yeah, we're switching things up. As the channel's growing, I have to elevate the production as well. You know, I think for me it's so important that the production of the channel is on point, you know? Like I'm all about quality, man. You know, I'm all about quality. The quality is good, you know, I will enjoy the show myself as well. And it's more engaging for you, the viewers, as well, you know. So yeah, man, let me know. Let me know your ratings in the comments, what you think of the new setup and everything like that of the live stream. Let me know if you like it. Let me just read some of the comments there. Let me see. Well, I'm just trying to get some of the comments to pop up. Hold on. Okay, let me move that. Let me move those comments. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. That's good. The fog sellers. Sound is good. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, the fog sellers. So the sound is good. You can all hear me. That's good. I like that. Lovely. Godzilla 2005. Yo, Godzilla. Shouts to you, brother. Welcome back. Welcome back to the channel, Godzilla. Always supporting. I really appreciate you, brother. What are you saying to me? What are you saying? There are talks about Jake Paul versus Francis Ngannou. And in my opinion, Francis smokes Jake Paul. Yeah, listen. Godzilla, hold fire. Hold fire on that question. We're going to come back to this question right at the end, towards the end. We're going to talk about Jake Paul and Tank Davis and what's going on with that fight, man. Yeah, we're gonna talk about that. Let's hold fire. But anyways, let's get this show cracking, man. Let's get this show started, man. What we starting? Liam Cameron versus Troy Jones. What a fight that was, man. What a fight that was, man. That was a hell of a fight because Liam Cameron, after his defeat against Whitaker, everyone thought he's kind of like done, innit? Where does he go from there? Liam Cameron is what, 35 years old? So it was kind of like downhill for Liam Cameron, innit? After that defeat against Whitaker. The manner in which the fight finished as well. So him taking this fight against Troy Jones, man, like the performance, it was a very good performance, man. Like I'm gonna flip my screen in a moment so we can kind of watch the highlights of it, whatever, just briefly. But for me, like, Liam Cameron performed so well, man, like beyond my expectations. I did not expect for Liam Cameron to perform at those levels. Like he started off very slow. Troy Jones was having the better of him with a jab, got into the body. And whenever I see a fighter that's 35 and the younger men is going to the body, throwing shots to the body, like I wonder, will the 35-year-old, will those old legs, do you know what I mean? Will they survive? You know, how long can those old legs go for? Because when someone's going to the body, it just zips all the air out of you. So I was a bit worried for Liam Cameron in the first couple of rounds. And the first couple of rounds, I was doing a live watch along. I gave the first couple of rounds, I gave it to Troy Jones. Like Troy Jones started really fast, but fair play, man, to Liam Cameron. Like he came back, man, towards the middle rounds, like from round 4, 5. Like it just seemed like he just found a different energy. You know, he was boxing so well. He kind of slowed down Troy Jones. And Troy Jones, what he needed to do was continue with that high pace, high intensity. But for some reason, the intensity from Troy Jones dropped. As soon as he dropped, like, it suited Liam Cameron. Because Liam Cameron wants to fight at a slow pace. Because a high intensity fight, Liam Cameron can't keep up. He's 35 years old. He hasn't got the stamina, the cardio that he had perhaps a couple of years ago, 5, 6 years ago, whatever, or even 2 years ago. So for Liam Cameron, when Troy Jones slowed down the fight, the intensity dropped. Perfect. That's when Liam Cameron started throwing the jab, you know, dropping his little 1-2 combinations. The right hand was money as well. So even though a lot of people, I've looked, you know, I've looked online and everything like that, a lot of people are saying that Liam Cameron lost that fight, but I scored a draw. I scored a draw. However, the referees gave it to Liam Cameron. I can see why. I'm not going to say it's a robbery like I'm hearing some people say, yo, that was a robbery. For me, it wasn't a robbery. For me, it was an even fight. It was a good fight. It was a good fight. If Troy Jones took it, I wouldn't complain either, you know. And Liam Cameron took it, I think, you know, it was all right. I don't think it was a robbery or as controversial as people are claiming it to be, but it was a good fight, man. For Liam Cameron, 35 years old, for him to still perform at that level, come on, none of us was expecting that, you know. So I have to give it out to Liam Cameron for performing the way he did. He did an absolutely fantastic job. But listen, I want to flip my screen. I'm just gonna, let's watch some of the highlights, you know. Like, I like watching the highlights. Whenever I'm talking about a subject or a topic regarding the fight, I like to watch these highlights in it. So let's watch some of the highlights, just to put some context into what we're talking about here. Maybe some people didn't watch the fight, so I just want them to see it. By the way, if you're in a building, smash the likes, please, my people. Smash the likes. If you're new to the channel, subscribe as well. You're really going to help us to grow. We are on the road to 4,000 subscribers, my people. So you can really help us to get there much faster. So share the links. Do whatever you can to help the channel grow, man. Because trust me, what I'm bringing you is quality content, you know? Quality content, you know? So if you appreciate quality content, if you appreciate someone that's honest, keeps it real, doesn't beat around the bush, doesn't kiss ass, none of that, man, this is the place to be, man. Subscribe, like, share, and subscribe. I can only grow if you people support me. But anyway, let me flip my screen. I want to show, let's watch some of the highlights from Liam Cameron versus Troy Jones. Hopefully, I'm hoping the zone, you know, or whoever's showing those highlights, I'm hoping I don't get no copyright strikes. The last thing I want to do is lose my, you know, I mean, get my channel suspended. I've worked so hard to get to where I am right now. But anyway, let me flip my screen. Let's take a chance on it. And yeah, let's watch some of the highlights from that fight, man. The only thing is YouTube ads, man. I hate YouTube ads. I might have to upgrade to YouTube Premium. You know what I mean? But I need more of you to subscribe before I go to YouTube Premium. You know, I need some of that dough, baby. I'm not there yet. So support me, people. Anyway, yeah, let's go to that. Let's watch some of that highlight, man.
Really well matched this at fairly short notice as well. Liam Cameron, now 35. He seems like he's been around forever. And Troy Jones, really good guy from the Midlands, a lot younger, but he's got 13 victories, and this should be intense. One of the most popular sportmen in Britain, Liam Cameron.
Everyone had
in with
Troy
a good
Jones
young Midlander, Troy Jones, who's won 13 of 14, the Sheffield man, in fight number 33. So he's experienced what is left in the locker, the vacant WBA Intercontinental belt on the line.
See, Troy Jones started really quick. Troy Jones started really fast, man. He was popping that jab. He was absolutely slapping up Liam Cameron in the early rounds, man.
Good left hook there from Cameron. Lovely shot. Jones got to be careful here. He doesn't get involved in a bit of a firefight here. He's got to keep it nice and long and slow it down.
Both of them trading punches early. Already some damage under the right eye of Liam Cameron.
You can see the younger men in Jones how the quicker start. put Liam Cameron on
Changing right hands, and the left eye looks puffy of Troy Jones. So
once we get to the
this
middle
has
rounds,
begun as
Liam
intensely as we
finally
felt
be
it
more
might.
success, you know?
And he'll believe Cameron that he can pick holes in the Jones defence, and there's a right hand and some body shots better from the Sheffield man.
People try and get too extravagant with their work. The simple punches work the best, they're the most effective. They're neater, they're longer, they're more correct.
Troy Jones's faithful have come up from Kingsbury Village and are enjoying their trip to Manchester. Just goes on the back foot and pops out the jab, but Troy Jones is going to try and walk him down again. This could get very, very tough as the rounds tick on. Right hand from Jones, who's full of energy and fire in the...
Liam Cameron was cut early already. Round 3, round 4, Liam Cameron was already cut. And yeah, I thought that cut as well was really going to trouble him, but he came through it.
Early stanzas of this fight.
I would say though, Cameron is taking this thing out. No, he's keeping a nice tight defence. He's blocking most of the...
See, Troy Jones early on, he was going to the body a lot, you know, and that was working nicely for him, but he made a big mistake. As you're going to see later on, he stopped going to the body, man. He should have kept going to the body. That was a big mistake from Troy Jones, man.
He just got to do that a little bit more often, fire off it. Yeah, that's better work there from Cameron. Twice, 2 pockets there that he let his hands go.
Just lost his balance there, Liam Cameron, and Troy Jones went in with body shots. He's blocking some of these. The Sheffield veteran.
See, Troy Jones was very successful in the race.
It's just the pace that Troy Jones is setting.
He just stopped doing it.
It is really hard and fast, and Cameron looks like he's been through 8 rounds already. Marked up but defiant. Good action here. Back end of the 4th round in Manchester.
Really good work to the body from Jones. Really sinking him in, and look at that. He's full of confidence here. For sure. Double jab from Jones. It's got to be a lot quicker as he moves up the levels. If he's to get past Cameron, that needs to be worked on.
How would Daniel Lappin have done tonight against Troy Jones? Been a very different fight.
Yeah, Lappin's a hard man to beat. I think really big and tall and rangy and awkward. So yeah, it's a totally different contest.
Big body shots going in from Troy Jones. 6 knockouts on his record. He's not a thunderous puncher, but he chips away. Cameron coming back with his own work. Good round this, the 6th. And a great spectacle for the fans. These two putting on a real show. And Jones...
these 2 guys left it all on the line, man.
Cameron just gets a bit of time as the bell goes. I'm just not sure at this stage. He just has the pace and the work rate, really. Inside from Poland, Spain, and our own Michael Alexander of Britain. Marcus McDonald has worn the pair of them for low blows. It's been a hard-fought affair. Who will have the best of the end of this light heavyweight duel? Middle of round 8. Cameron swinging in the hooks and
very impressively in this
some classy work at times from Cameron. But it's just sustaining it.
I'm 35 years old, but fair play to Cameron. He came back.
But it's this sustained body attack again from Troy Jones to work rate and the will tonight.
They really want him to get busy in the Cameron corner.
Right
these are the rounds, man. These are some of the rounds that maybe the judges
comes with a volley of punches which will catch the eyes of the judges. And Cameron not doing enough. Oh, that's a nasty one, and the eye doesn't look good at Troy Jones. Left eye. See the power punches landing from Jones.
It surprises me that the first one there, Cameron with an edge over Jones with the power thrown. He was letting the shots go more frequently. He needs that again in this final.
See, when you go to round 10, like when it went to round 10, I had Cameron in front. Like round 10, I had Cameron in front, and then I think Jones just took round 10, but I had Cameron leading, you know.
Just telegraphing the shots ever so slightly, Jones, and he's just reading it, Cameron.
Is it Jones's now just to get home with a big shot there at the beginning of the 10th? He's got to be ahead on the cards, Barry.
But
it just feels like in round 10, there was more intensity from Troy Jones. Do you know what I mean? He looked like out of the both fight, he looks like he was the more desperate one, as if he knew he needed that round to save himself, you know? Just my take on it. Let me know in the comments what you thought.
you're not sure you should go and win this round, but to win the round, it's not making mistakes. That's important. You got to be busy to not close the gap and allow Cameron to land with a big shot. But he did land with a good right hand there, Jones.
Brilliant fight. Really has been good. The atmosphere has been fantastic. They've left it all in the ring, haven't they?
Neither of these guys from Manchester, but
the co-main event and this fight was far much better than the main event. The main event stand the place.
A terrific 10-rounder. The bell's going to come, and the respect will be there between the two. What a scrap! What a tussle!
Judge Salvador Salva scores it 97-93, and both judges Michael Alexander and Grzegorz Molenda score it the same, 96-94. All for your winner by.
The judge that scored it 97-93, mate, that's crazy, mate. Because Liam Cameron won a unanimous decision. 97-93, I disagree with that, but 96-94 made more sense.
Unanimous decision. And now the WBA
Those 2 rounds in it, 1 or 2 rounds in
Intercontinental Light Heavyweight Champion, Liam Cannonball Cameron.
Yeah, listen, man. Listen, my people. Listen, my people. Listen. All I want to say is, yeah, look, we all have our own opinions. We all watch the fight. And I just want to say this, man. Shout out to Liam Cameron. Big congrats to Liam Cameron, because let's keep it real. Everyone thought he's going to lose this fight, innit? Like, no one was really giving him a chance like that. Like, he impressed me the way he went about his business in that ring on Saturday night, you know? Like, he started badly. He was getting pieced up by Jones. And I thought, you know what? This fight ain't going to last, bruv. Like, can Liam Cameron even go the distance here? He might get stopped. But for him to turn it around the way he did, that was really impressive for me, you know? And where does he go from here? I don't think he can get any big fights or get in there against a hungry lion. I think that performance there, that might be it, man. That, he gave everything in there, you know? Even in a rematch, I think I'll favor Troy Jones. Just being real. I think they might have a rematch. I'll favor Troy Jones, because I think Troy Jones, the mistake he made was dropping the intensity, dropping the pace. If he kept at that intensity, fighting at a higher pace, he would have won that fight, because Liam Cameron could not keep up with that pace for the whole fight. But because Troy Jones slowed down the pace, I don't know what really happened. I don't know what the corner were telling him, but that was a big mistake, you know. If the rematch was to happen, Troy Jones will just keep up that high pace, you know. And I'm sure he'll get a win. I think that, you know, how old is Troy Jones? 27? So no matter what you think, you have to be impressed by Liam Cameron, right? You have to be impressed. He did really well. I'm just going to read some of your comments before we move on to the next. AB 10153. Hey, man. Yo, AB, what's up, bro? Glad to have you join us, man. I really appreciate it. By the way, people, if you're in the building, please smash the likes. Please smash the likes. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe as well. You're really going to help us to grow. Yeah, AB, welcome, man. I appreciate having you with us, man. I really appreciate it. The fog sellers. I must disagree with you. I think the concept it could have gone either way shouldn't exist. It can be a draw, but not either way. No, basically, what you see when I say, hold on, let me just move this a bit lower. Hold on. It's a bit too high here. All right, let me move that down. Good. Yeah, the fog seller. When I say it could have went either way, what I mean is it just depends on, like, it depends on what do you know what I mean? It's like one of them, it depends on what style you like. It depends on what you're seeing, what you appreciate in terms of the punches being thrown. Do you know what I mean? Like, do you like the pressure of Troy Jones, or did you like how Liam Cameron was fighting on the back foot? That's what I mean. Do you know what I mean? Like, there could have been other rounds where you probably thought, yo, that's a swing round. You probably gave that to Liam Cameron, or there could have been another round where you thought that's a swing round. You could have gave it to Troy Jones. Do you know what I mean? So when I say it could have gone either way, I wouldn't really feel bad about it. That's what I mean. Do you know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't be mad whoever won that fight, because one, it was a good fight, very entertaining. Both guys did their thing. So I don't, like, to me, it's not a robbery, because some people are saying, yo, that's a robbery. Not to me, though. Do you know what I mean? Not to me, man. So that's what I mean. That's what I mean, bro. The fog seller comes back with another one. I like the fog seller, man. The fog seller coming in with all the questions. What's going on, man? We need more people asking questions. You're letting the fog seller get all the questions in. But I appreciate the fog seller, man, coming in with some great questions. Next question. Do you think there is too much controversy in boxing decisions in the last 365 days? I will give you the list. Buatsi, Parker, Cameron, Jones, Wardley, Pardley. Okay, so you named a few fights there. Listen, definitely, man. Definitely, man. At the moment, there is a problem in boxing. There is a problem with boxing when it comes to judging fights, when it comes to refereeing decisions. What we need, I think what we need, and boxing might have to follow the example of, for example, like football. You know, football, rugby, even basketball, yeah, they have VAR, video assistance referee. You know, they have all them. Like, why don't we have that in boxing? Because sometimes a fight will finish with a low blow, or the referee will step in too soon when the fight is all right. Have VAR, mate. Have VAR. What is the video assistance referee? Why don't we look back at the decision and say, no, you know what? Like, you only take a minute. Maybe have a referee that's sitting ringside. He's got all the monitor. Mate, they've got different angles of cameras. Have a quick watch for 1 minute and say, you know what, referee stopped it too early. Fight has to continue, mate. It's not over. That's what I think. I think video assistant referee will solve a lot of the bad decisions from refs, because then we can look back. Let's say, for example, there's a knockdown, but the referee misses it and he doesn't give it as a knockdown. Between the rounds, like, do you know what I mean? During the break, they could quickly look at it. They could quickly look at it and say, you know what? That was a knockdown. It was a knockdown, so we're going to score it as a knockdown. That will solve a lot of problems, man. That's just my opinion. Let me know in the comments what you think. I think boxing should bring in VAR, video assistance referee. That's really going to help a lot of these referees. And you know what? What's that going to do as well? It's going to reassure the fans, innit? The fans will have more confidence in the decisions from the officials. But for some reason, boxing just, it's like a dinosaur sport, innit? They don't want to move on with the times. Every other sport is doing this, cleaning up. But for boxing, for some reason, they're putting so much responsibility on the referee. I don't think it's even fair on the referees. Do you know what I mean? Because sometimes it's like human error. You can get human error. Why not just remove that element and bring in video assistance referee? I think that's really going to help them. And that's one point, bringing video assistance referee. Another point, so that point I made was officiating errors when a referee makes an error. For example, the Parker fight, the Joseph Parker fight, where where Wardley threw about 5 punches. He didn't land any of them, but the referee still stopped the fight. Now, if he was to go back and use video assistance referee, we can look at the camera, we can look at the video. It only take a minute. We can look at it and say, you know what? That shouldn't be a stoppage because he missed the 5 punches. Carry on, guys. That's what it takes. Both fighters back in your corners. Referee goes, timeout. Bam, let's go. Let's carry on. Let's carry on the fight. They can do that. Surely they can do that. Surely they can do that. Do you know what I mean? Because for me, what Howard Foster did, that's a big mistake. There was so much at stake in that fight. That was a big referee mistake. You know, Parker worked so hard to get to where he did, and you just took it away from him because Parker was winning the fight on points. I had Parker up by 4 rounds by the time the referee stopped the fight. So if Parker was able to survive that onslaught in the 11th round, I think he would have survived the 12th and would have won by points. You know, that's just my opinion. So that's with the mistakes, human error mistakes from the referees, yeah? My second point, this is more when it comes to like judging, yeah? When it comes to judges' scorecards, because I know a lot of people are criticizing some of the scorecards in recent times, yeah? Like you said, the Fox seller, you've mentioned a couple of fights there. And I'm in agreement with you, yeah? What we need in terms of understanding how the judges are scoring it, what boxing needs to do, yeah, that could clear up some of the confusion. Because what happens is, I sit home, because when I do a live watch along, I have a scorecard on the screen. I'm scoring the fight, right? But obviously, I'm watching the fight. I'm not ringside. I'm not live. Do you know what I mean? I'm just scoring the fight from what I'm seeing on TV, right? And then you got the judges who are ringside. They're scoring the fight. And then you've got the so-called experts, right? So ex-boxers, ex-pros, you know, pundits, analysis, whatever you call them, yeah? You've got them doing their own scorecard. So we're all scoring it, but the most important, what counts is the judge's scorecard, right? And then it gets to the end of the fight, a fight that you thought maybe the fighter A was winning easily, comfortably, but then the referees give it to, the judges give the fight to fighter B. And we're all there scratching our head thinking, how the hell that shit happen? You know, something like that. I'm going to go back. The fight between Buatsi and Zach Parker at the weekend, and we're going to come to that. That fight is coming up. We're gonna cover that. Everyone was left scratching their heads like, how the hell did Parker not win that fight? But to make things clear, to clear things up, we need to know by which criterias these referees are scoring the fight. Boxing needs more clarity. They need to make it clear how the judging, like how they're scoring it. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, how are these judges scoring it? How are they seeing this fight? If we can get some clarity, criterias on how these judges are scoring the fight, if we can all have an understanding of it, then I think boxing can move forward. Because then when we're all watching the fight, we know when we're scoring it, we know which criteria to go by. As long as we don't know which criteria to go by, then these type of decisions will keep baffling us. We're going to keep getting into end of fights and listening to the results and being like, what the hell was that about? And we've seen some mad controversies in boxing, you know, some crazy scorecards. I've been watching boxing for a very long time, and trust me, I've seen some bad ones. Even when I'm live, like when I'm at the arena, I hear scorecard being called out. I'm like, damn, what the hell were these judges watching? Like, they need to go to Specsavers, because what the hell were they watching? So for me, the best solution is for boxing to release a criteria how they judge the fights. I think the UFC do it. How the UFC does it, they have a criteria on how to judge, how to score fights, yeah, for the judges. Like, for example, if you take someone down, if If you get a takedown in the UFC, that's a point. You know, if you're controlling the ring generalship, if you're on the front foot, that's a point as well. You know, but if you, let's say for example in UFC, if you take someone down, but you don't do no damage while you're on the ground, you're not getting a point. Yeah, you've taken them down, but if you're not doing no damage, but the other guy is the bottom, is hitting you with elbows, they're landing the elbows, they're cutting you, the judges will score it for the guy that's on the ground because they're landing them the fatal blows. You know, so they're actually rewarding someone for fighting back while they're on the ground. That's what we need to find out with boxing. How the hell are they judging these fights? Because if a fighter is on the back foot, but is boxing lovely on the back foot, landing the jab, pop shot in once in a while, throwing the right hand, do you know what I mean? Like they're slipping and sliding every single fight, bobbing and weaving, but they're on the back foot the whole fight. Are the judges watching it is that smart boxing? Like, is that impressive to the judges, the eye of the judges? Or are these judges preferring fighters who control the ring generalship, fighters who are coming forward, who are trying to initiate contact, who are trying to engage, but the opponent doesn't want to engage? Like, that's the type of criteria that we need to know from these judges. How the hell are they judging scoring these fights? Like, that's what we need to find. I think that's where the confusion is. And also sometimes, just for clarity as well, to make things a bit more transparent, because as long as I've, you know, ever since I've been watching boxing, I always hear, oh, there's corruption in boxing, you know? There's corruption in boxing, you know, brown envelopes being passed around. Now, I can't sit here, yeah, and say for definite, yo, boxing, there's corruption in boxing. We hear things, innit? Like, we're all boxing fans, let's keep it real. We hear things, but can I actually sit here and say, yeah, there's corruption in boxing? I can't say that because I have no evidence of it. If you've got evidence of it, let me know, man. Show me the evidence, and trust me, I'll be happy to share it with the rest of the world, but I don't have any, yeah? But, you know, are people biased? Some referees or judges biased? Yes, there is biasness in boxing. Like any other sport, there's biasness, but that don't mean it's corrupt, you know? Like, for clarity, for fans, and for boxing to be more transparent, to clean up its act, I think these referees need to be interviewed after the fight to explain their decisions. I think the judges need to explain their decisions. You know, if we're baffled, scratching our heads, okay, get the judges to explain to us how they saw the fight. Because then we can sit there and say, and analyze and say, okay, so I thought this, but really this is what the judge saw. Then we can make our own minds up at home. But the judges and all the officials, including the referee, they just get away with it. No accountability whatsoever. There is no accountability from the side of the officials. They don't explain anything. They don't explain the decisions. They don't explain the scoring. And us, the fans, we're the biggest losers, and the fighters as well, because the fighters dedicate 12 weeks, 8 weeks, training camps, you know, staying away from their families, their loved ones, putting in mad work in a gym, and then they're robbed of a decision. They feel robbed of a decision with no explanation whatsoever, and they're left to pick up the pieces. Do you know? That's mad. That's mad. And a lot of fighters truly believe, look, they won the fight. Like Zach Parker, he's still protesting till now. Zach Parker truly believes that he won that fight. And I watched his interview. He was talking about, look, you know, this fight, you know, would have changed my life if I won this fight and went on to fight for a title, because it means so much. You know, if I get a title fight, that could change the life of my daughter, my little girl. And like, listening to that really got to me. I felt his pain, because I'm like, damn, these guys are putting in mad works, making so much sacrifices, yeah? Like, they deserve so much better. They deserve so much better. And this is what these officials, this is what boxing as a sport needs to understand. And I'm not talking about the fans or the fighters. I'm talking about the people that run boxing. The regulators, the officials. Like, they really need to think about the damage that a bad decision could do to a fighter. How it could impact their life. Because these fighters, they don't train for free. They're coaching, they have to pay to get coached. They have to pay for medical care. They have to pay for so many things. Their outgoings, their expenses. It is not cheap. Like, I know people say, yo, boxing is a working class sport. Yeah, boxing has a lot of people that come from a working class background, but boxing ain't cheap. I'm an amateur boxing coach. Yeah, I'm an amateur boxing coach. Now, me, when I'm coaching the kids, the amateurs, I volunteer. I don't get paid, you know. I don't get paid. I volunteer from, you know, because I have a passion for boxing. I enjoy it. I love it. So when I'm coaching the kids, I'm just volunteering. But at the same time, I'm benefiting from it because I'm getting the knowledge. I'm developing myself, developing my skills at the same time. So it's like, it's a trade-off, you know. I'm devoting my time, volunteering, but at the same time, I'm gaining that knowledge, you know. I only get paid if I do one-to-ones. If I'm doing one-to-ones, then I get paid, you know. But when I'm coaching the kids, amateur boxing kids, that's completely volunteering. And there's a lot of people like me up and down the country and around the world. So boxing is like, but I still have to spend time and spend my own money sometimes. And it's the same with the fighters. They have to pay for the coach, pay gym memberships. Sometimes they have to volunteer their time to coach the kids for free so that they can have access to the gym. You know? So there's so much that happens that these officials really need to understand, you know, what boxers, what fighters go through, what their families go through. It looks so nice and pretty and gritty at the top when you got the likes of Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua, all the big boys, you know, Crawford, Canelo. They're getting the big millions. But trust me, the people that make big money in boxing, the fighters, they're only about 5-6%. The rest of them guys are making peanuts, mate. Fight to fight, they're just making ends meet. They're making much money. If you actually look at them, they're not making much money because the outgoings are so high, man. Like, you know, in some countries you're getting taxed 50%, 40% of your purse, mate. That's another thing people don't think about. Like a fighter, you might hear a fighter got paid 2 million. But you might think, yo, that fighter got paid 2 million, right? But that 2 million, yeah, if you're here in the UK, you're getting taxed 40%, mate. Your ass getting taxed 40%. That's 40% going to the tax man, yeah? Then I think your manager takes about 10% or 15%. Then your coach takes 10%. Then your promoter takes it. Then your medical care has to be paid for. Then your cut man. Then, mate, one fight is paying about 15 people, mate. By the time you pay 15 people, don't forget you got taxed already. How much are you taking home? How much are you taking home? This is why it's so important that boxing cleans up its act. This is why fighters have to get a fair shot. This is why decisions are so vital that these officials get it right, because one wrong decision, you can absolutely mess up a man's life, you know. You can mess up a man's life, you know, because people have got bills to pay. People got bills to pay, mate. So we need more transparency in boxing so that us, the fans, can have that trust in what we're watching. Like this, we invest in this product. Boxing, the product, we invest our time in it. We invest our money by paying for subscription with DAZN, Sky Sports, wherever you are. We pay for pay-per-views. I mean, there's another pay-per-view coming up soon. Ben versus Eubank, Conor Ben versus Eubank Jr. That's another pay-per-view. We just had the Joseph Parker one. How many pay-per-views are they doing each year? We invest our money in it. Yeah, we love the sport, we enjoy it, but if we're investing our money in it, we need to see more transparency from the governing bodies, you know, so that we can have confidence and trust in the product that we're investing in. Otherwise, a lot of fans are going to turn their backs. They're going to turn away. Because they just don't believe that whoever they support, the fighter they support, is getting a fair crack. That's my take on it, you know? I know I banged on a little bit longer, but I just wanted to make my explanation clear on what I think boxing can do better, can improve on, you know? And the more people like me and you guys and girls in the comments, people that watch, the more you speak up, the more you vent your frustrations, whatever, online. Like, these guys will eventually have to listen up, man. And the fighters need to get together and do something about it. At the end of the day, it's them that make sacrifices. It's the fighters that put in their lives at risk every time they enter that ring. So if you're going to put your life at risk, surely you want to know that you're getting a fair crack here. Surely you want to know that the referee is not going to make a stupid decision like Howard Foster and stop the fight when you're not even getting hurt. So the fighters might have to get together and come up with some type of plan to clean up the whole officiating, because it's their lives that's being impacted the most. You know, so that's my take on that. But let me read another comment here. Yeah, the Fox seller read that. AB1, I'm going to read this. How long we been on now? Let me just check one thing. Okay, so almost an hour. Almost an hour, and I ain't even moved on through the topics yet. Damn it. Crazy. AB1, what you saying, AB1? What you saying to me, bro? What you saying? Hold on. Let me make these questions on my screen a little bit smaller, man. Give me a sec, peeps. Let me just trim that a bit. That's better. I really don't need it to be that big, you know? Yeah, that's enough, man. AB, what you saying? AB says, question, I'm only in my 30s. You think it's too late to get into boxing? Not trying to make it professional, but someone just wants to get back in shape. Yeah, nah, listen, AB, yeah, of course, man, it's never too late. It's never too late to get into anything, really, my humble opinion, mate. It's never too late. Of course, like you said, you're in your 30s, you're not trying to compete, you're not trying to become a professional or anything like that. Of course you can get into boxing. Like, me as an amateur boxing coach, and I do one-to-ones as well, I get people that have never boxed, never laced a pair of gloves their whole life, and they want to get into it for whatever reason, you know, to improve their mental health, to get fit, you know, whatever, you know, they've got a bit of spare time and they want to do something different. They come to me and they're like, yo, can you coach me? I'm like, yeah, fine, of course. And they ask me the same questions that you're asking me about getting into boxing. It's never too late, mate. I get people that are 55, 60, getting into boxing. So 30, mate, you're mad young. You're young. You're young, mate. I didn't have my first, I've had one boxing fight, white collar boxing fight. And I had my white collar boxing fight, yeah? I had it in 2024, mate. I had it last year, mate. That was my first boxing fight. And I was what? I was 35 years old, mate. Actually, no, I was 34 going to 35. So yeah, my first ever boxing fight, I had it at 34, mate. Come on. If I can have a fight at 34, you can definitely start boxing, mate. But the only difference with me is I've always been in combat sports. I've always been in combat sports. You know, I've done MMA, had a few fights there as well. So I've always been an active person. When I was young, I used to play football. I used to play rugby. I used to play basketball. You know, even though like basketball, I was never going to make it because I'm not the tallest guy. And I'm only 5'6". I'm 5'7". So I'd never had the height for basketball anyway. But yeah, football, I could have made in football. I've always been a sports person. You know, so I've always been active. So getting fit and et cetera, has never been a problem for me. It's the only thing with me, what let me down is the lack of discipline. I lack that discipline. That's why I respect every sports person that makes it to the top. Boxing, football, rugby, basketball, golf, whatever it is, I respect every single professional that makes it, because the discipline that's required to make it, some of the sacrifices that you have to make, it's not for everybody. It's not for everybody. And me, I therefore lack the discipline, and I wasn't willing to make the sacrifices. You know, so yeah. AB, if you want to get into boxing, mate, never too late. Get into it, mate. Trust me, get into it. I'll go into boxing late in terms of fighting, training and stuff. I've been training MMA, but I didn't start training boxing like proper until like 3 years ago, mate. So yeah, you could definitely do it, bro. Don't let no one tell you otherwise. AB, again, I've recently been invited by a friend to come over a boxing gym. Mate, go for it. Go for it. If your friend has invited you, go. Go to the gym. Trust me, you won't be disappointed, mate. You will love it. You're really going to enjoy it. And when you do go, you know, let me know how it goes, man. Give me some feedback. Give me some feedback on how it went, if you enjoyed it. But trust me, I know you're going to enjoy it. Boxing is a very enjoyable sport. And also what boxing does for you, it gives you that discipline, you know, it gives you that structure in your life as well. It teaches you to be humble as well, you know, especially when you're sparring, you know, someone that you think is kind of smaller than you, when they punch you up, you're like, yeah. And what that will do is, when you do take up boxing, when you do start training boxing or you do sparring, it will make you, the next time you're watching a fight, you will have more respect for the fighters, because now you know what they go through, you know? You know the type of sacrifices they have to make to even make it to the ring. There's a lot of sacrifices that they have to make. Physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, there's a lot of sacrifices they have to make. So you're really going to respect fighters. You're going to see fighters a different way next time you watch a fight, if you start boxing yourself, you know? That's the thing. Like me, I have this platform, and like my job, because look, I'm a YouTube content creator, I cover boxing, and sometimes, it's not even sometimes, all the times I keep it real. So I say like I see it. I'm not going to beat around the bush. I'm not going to try and, you know, watch what I say, because certain people might not want to work with me in the future, or they might not want to do interviews with me. I don't give a F about all that. The most important thing to me is that, you know, I stay genuine. Do you know what I mean? And I keep it real. I stay true to my character, you know. But when I do that, it might come across as disrespect. But trust me, I'm not disrespecting the fighters, because I know what they go through. I got massive respect to every single man and woman that gets into that ring, the octagon, whatever it is, bare knuckle fighting, whatever. I got crazy respect for them, because I know what they go through. I know what it feels like. So I don't mean to disrespect no fighter, no athlete, but I will give my honest opinion when I do reviews, when I do fight breakdowns, because that's what the fans deserve. They deserve honesty, you know. There's so many people out there that just ass kissing, you know, sitting on a fence because they're scared to ruffle feathers, because they're scared of losing deals, brand endorsements, and they're scared of this, they're scared of that. They don't want to lose any friendships or contacts that they've made over the years, because they feel like if they say something slick, they might not be able to call Joshua again. You know what I mean? They might not get an interview from Tyson Fury again. And I get it. Listen, each to their own. If that's how they want to move, they can do their thing. But for me, I keep it real, man. If you don't want to work with me, it's fine. If you don't want to do an interview with me because I said something that's honestly from the heart, and I said it the way I saw it, mate, do your thing. Do your thing. I'll keep doing what I'm doing, mate. You know what I mean? I build my own foundations. Like, I don't rely on other people to do anything for me. I don't want any favors. If it happens for me, if I become the biggest channel in the world, if it happens, that means it's meant to be for me. If it doesn't happen, it wasn't meant to be, man. And I'm cool with that. You know? That's what keeps me real. Because I really don't mind what happens, you know? But yeah, AB, definitely get into boxing, man. I haven't been active since COVID, working from home, got lazy, etc., etc. Mate, You're not the only one, man. I know a lot of people that haven't been active for years. You know, I know a lot of people that haven't been active for years. So I understand, man. I understand, man. I'll therefore thank you. Nah. AB, do your thing. Like I said, once you go to the gym, make sure you go, yeah? Make sure you go. I'm holding you accountable, mate. Make sure you go. And when you do go to the gym, give me the feedback. Let me know how you felt, you know? I'm gonna move on quick. I normally do about an hour and a half. So we've done, I think, been an hour now. So another half hour, 40 minutes, then I'm gonna bounce, man. I'll go in life. I still work a 9 to 5 because a lot of you guys are not paying me. YouTube ain't paying me, man. Do you know what I mean? YouTube, can you believe it? YouTube don't pay enough, man. You see all these big YouTubers, I ain't one of them, man. YouTube ain't pay me yet. So I'm still doing a 9 to 5. I'm still on the grind. You know, hopefully one day this YouTube thing catches fire and I blow and, you know, that's when I can kind of chill and I can bring you guys more content and we can talk for longer. You know what? Yeah, once I can do YouTube full time, I think I'm going to do streams for I'm going to do a stream for maybe I'll do a 24-hour stream because then I know I can just chill. I don't have to go to work the next day. But as of right now, man, I go work in the morning, man. Who's here? Liam Cameron boxing. Yo, Liam Cameron, is that the Liam Cameron or what? Is that the real Liam Cameron, as in Liam Cameron that fought against Bradley Jones at the weekend? Or is this a Liam Cameron that's just using the Liam Cameron name? Can someone check that out, please? Is that the real Liam Cameron? Because if that's the real Liam Cameron, shout out to Liam Cameron. Thank you so much for coming on the live, Liam Cameron, and dropping a comment. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate it. And if that's the real Liam Cameron, we need to do an interview, brother. We need to do an interview, brother. You need to come on EMGM Sports, brother. I'm going to send you a DM, Liam Cameron. I'm going to send you a DM. If that's the real one, can someone check and confirm for me, please? Yo, AB, check that Liam Cameron account, please. Check if he's really Liam Cameron for real. Or is he just messing around? But yeah, Liam Cameron, man, listen. If that's really you, great performance on Saturday. Great performance. I really enjoyed it. Do you know what I mean? I'm not going to lie. I counted you out. I wasn't backing you to win that fight. I thought maybe after the Whittaker fight, you know, I thought, what's he still got left in the tank? 35 years old, but you know what? You proved me wrong, brother. You went in there. And the tenacity, the courage that you showed, you know, the courage that Liam Cameron showed, I was just impressed by that. Like, he just stayed in there. Liam Cameron stayed in there and just, yeah, that you know what, yeah, when I saw Liam Cameron and also the thing about Liam Cameron is his story. He's got such a great story. Like, I would love to interview Liam Cameron and just talk to him about his story because I know he's had some trials and tribulations. Do you know what I mean? It hasn't been smooth sailing his career in boxing, yeah, and he's faces demons. For him to overcome all that and deliver that performance, that like the first fight against Whittaker, he won that. Do you know what I mean? I'm gonna keep it real. Robert Whittaker quit in that fight. Let's keep it real, my people. Robert Whittaker quit. Robert Whittaker quit in that fight. Liam Cameron absolutely set the pace on him and beat that kid, you know. But it is what it is. Shit happens. But once again, man, congratulations on Liam Cameron. He impressed me. He showed me, because, hold on, Liam Cameron is 35. I'm older than Liam Cameron because I'm 36 years old. I'm not sure when he turns 36, but I'm older. So, but we're the same. We're same age. Same. Me and Liam Cameron, same generation. Yeah. And one thing, when I was watching the fight on Saturday, one thing he taught me is, listen, go again. You face adversity, go again. You might lose, go again. No matter what you're going through, trust me. Just keep getting back up, go again. You know what I mean? And I love that story, you know. That's the type of stories that I love. And yeah, I'm definitely gonna message you. I'm gonna drop your message on Instagram, Liam. Let's get an interview. Let's have a chat. Let's have a conversation. Let's sit down, take our time. I feel like your story needs to be told. And I'm the guy, man. I'm Enzo, the realest in the game. I'm the guy to really bring that emotion out of you. Do you know what I mean? So big up Liam Cameron. Thanks for coming through the channel, my brother. I really appreciate it, man. Liam Cameron. Yeah, that's actually him. Liam Cameron says, yeah, that's actually Liam Cameron there, man. Oh, let me read some of that message. What's Liam Cameron saying here? Liam Cameron says, haha, drop me a message. I'll do an interview for your channel, brother. Ah, Liam Cameron, I appreciate that, brother. I appreciate that, man. Yes. Don't worry. You're going to be getting a message from me real quick. Real quick. I want to get my assistant to drop you a DM on you on your Instagram. I'm like, I have no assistant, by the way. I do everything by myself, from production, everything, mate. You know, I do all the legwork. I ain't making enough yet to get my own assistant. But anyway, listen, I've kind of lost track of the whole flipping live, but let's move on to the next subject. Not subject, topic. We've got Bradley Ray versus Lyndon Arthur. Once again, shout out to Lyndon Arthur, man. My God. Shout out to Lyndon Arthur, man. How old is Lyndon Arthur? I think Lyndon Arthur, again, similar my age. Liam Cameron's age, is that 35? I think it's 35, yeah. And the performance, man, again, like, I want to keep it real. And I'm going to show some of the highlights. I'm going to flip my screen in a minute. We're going to find the highlights. We're going to watch the highlights. It's probably on the zone. Lyndon Arthur, his career's been, you know, up and down. And I've criticized Lyndon Arthur a lot because I just felt like this guy's got a lot more to give. When I watch his fight, I'm like, I feel like he's always holding back. He's got a beautiful, sharp jab. Like Lyndon Arthur, the jab on that kid is crazy. I'm calling him a kid, but we're the same age. Bro, I don't mean in a bad way, but I just feel like he can let off more combinations in his fight, but he doesn't do it. He relies on that jab a bit too much. And his last fight against Anthony Yarde was so frustrating to watch because he just kept backing off, staying on the ropes, curled up. He was trying to get these little shots. I'm like, bro, like, you can really box. Do you know what I mean? You can really box. Take the center of the ring and fight this. Do you know what I mean? And Anthony Yarde is my boy. Like Anthony Yarde, we grew up in the same estate. I'm from Stratford New, I'm in London. For those of you who know, you know. Me and Anthony Yarde, like I lived on a block. Like Anthony Yarde lived downstairs, like they had a house. I lived on a block of flats. And me and Anthony Yarde used to play football. I know his mom, his sister, and I used to see them. Like Anthony Yarde, I think he's about 2 years younger than me, I think. Yeah, 1 or 2 years younger. I think in school, he was like 2 years younger than me in school. So I remember Anthony Yarde, like real good kid, like, you know, real good kid, but in a bad neighborhood. So it's a good thing he made it out. And I always back Anthony Yarde. Like whenever Anthony Yarde is fighting, I always back Anthony Yarde because I feel like it's my obligation because we grew up in the same area. Even though some fights I'm a bit delusional backing him because when he took on Beterbiev, I back Anthony Yarde, even though look at the caliber of fighter Beterbiev is. Beterbiev is a killer. And I was backing Anthony Yarde. Why? Because I'm just a loyal guy. Like Anthony Yarde is from my hood, he's from my block, from my estate. We grew up in the same area. Like, do you know what I mean? There's no way I'm gonna back anyone else against Anthony Yarde. So that fight against Anthony Yarde for Lyndon Arthur, I still felt like he could have done more. Even though I wasn't backing him, I still felt he could have done way more, you know? So for me, Lyndon Arthur in this fight against Bradley Ray, again, a lot of people had Bradley Ray winning this fight easy because Bradley Ray was the European champion. Is he EBU European champion? Yeah. Fast kid. How old is he? 27 or something like that? He's much younger than Lyndon Arthur. Started fast, dropped Lyndon Arthur. I'm going to flip my screen so we can watch some of the highlights together. Again, I hope when I'm sharing this footage from the zone, I really hope they don't flip and come back with a copyright strike. I worked so hard to get my channel where it is now. The last thing I want is some flipping problems, you know? You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to have to start again, but Lyndon Arthur put on just a mature, professional performance against Bradley Ray, you know? I think Bradley Ray and his team got the game plan so wrong. Again, instead of keeping that intensity, high pace like they did at the start of the fight, because the older you are, these guys that are 35, 36, the last thing they want is what some of these young guns, young hungry lions is fighting at a high intensity, high pace fight. Because they don't have their legs no more. They don't have their legs no more. They do not have the legs. You know, they do not have the legs. So that's what I'm saying. You know, that's what I'm saying. Like, Bradley Ray should have kept up that intensity. But again, dropped the intensity, and then Lyndon Arthur just took over, man. Showed the experience, showed the maturity, showed that he's been there with some of the big guys. People forget Lyndon Arthur was in the ring against Dimitri Bivol. Yeah, he got smoked, but the experience, the lessons that you take when you fight someone like Dimitri Bivol, like, is priceless. Even though you get smoked, but the experience alone is priceless, you know? So Lyndon Arthur, again, well done. Congratulations, bro. And I want to say this as well. Go check out Lyndon Arthur on TikTok. This guy is hilarious, bro. Lyndon Arthur is absolutely hilarious. Go check him out. Go check him out, man. You know, go check him out. The guy is absolutely hilarious, man. But anyway, listen, I want us to watch the highlights. I'm just gonna flip my screen in a sec. Give me a sec. Let's watch the highlights from Lyndon Arthur and Bradley Ray. It was a great fight. It was entertaining, man. Bradley Ray, very, very talented kid. I'm sure he's gonna come back and do well, but he needs to take some lessons from that fight against Lyndon Arthur, because Lyndon Arthur just showed him levels when it comes to an experience, and showed him levels when it comes to managing a fight. You know, just because you start quick doesn't mean you're going to end it the same way. So Lyndon Arthur showed him that, yes, you can face adversity at the start, but it doesn't mean you're going to lose the fight, because, man, there's 12 rounds, 10 or 12 rounds. You can still come back and win a fight. So Bradley Ray has a lot to learn from that. But anyway, let me just find out the highlights, and then let's play that. Let's watch it together. But again, like I said at the start, man, Lyndon Arthur versus Bradley Ray, that should have been main event, because that was way more entertaining. That was way more entertaining than the actual main event between Buatsi and Parker. But anyway, let me flip my screen. So let's watch it.
Protect yourself at all times, all right? Shake hands.
Style now as well, just trying to befuddle Arthur and not let
Go round the back, Lyndon.
him get set in a rhythm. And this is good work from Brad Ray. Lovely
You
right.
see that? You felt that?
Just heard Arthur there. He's backed up in his own corner. Brad Razor, decent puncher. Arthur coming back with an uppercut. Terrific action. Second round of this one.
I think this is where it gets dropped. Beautiful.
It's a beautiful left hook.
That left hook was beautiful.
Arthur down in the second round.
Let me just see that again. beautiful left
They're
hook.
going to have to work on
And I
that.
really thought that is it.
It's a beautiful left hook.
I thought, nah, after 35 years old, can he get back up? Can he go again? I don't think
It
so.
was a heavy fall. The count's at 8, 20 seconds left. Can Brad Ray, whose left eye is closing badly here, finish it? Right hand, Arthur in big trouble. Kieran McGann having a look. He's got to throw something back. He needs the bell. Brad Ray all over him. What a round for...
Man, down round 2, yeah, Arthur was lucky there was about 15 seconds left of it by the time he got dropped. If that round had a minute left, I don't think Arthur comes out of it. I think Bradley Ray stops him.
But what damage to the left eye! Drama here in Manchester.
And then there was a left hook that followed it through.
That left hook on the chin.
Like I said, man,
Beautiful shot.
Bradley Ray just didn't
There's
keep
that
up
right hand. He
intensity.
misses, doesn't he?
In a big session.
He slowed
The
down
second
and he let
from
Arthur start
Bradley
using the
Ray.
jab.
But here comes Lyndon Arthur. Well, let's make fun.
Look at that right hand there from Lyndon Arthur. That was a beautiful right hand. Let's show that again, man.
Ray. But here comes Lyndon Arthur. Well, let's make fun.
Lyndon Arthur just started using all that experience.
In what's becoming a
really
real
confused
war at light heavyweight
the
here
young
in
Ray.
Manchester.
What a start to this contest we've had already.
the right hand was
And
money.
that's only going to damage that left eye even worse.
Both of them just going for broke here. A couple, but back comes Ray with these combinations to the head off against
Lyndon
one
Arthur
on the
was throwing some
inside. That
beautiful
was a
uppercuts as well, you know.
cheeky shot and
Absolutely beautiful uppercut from
Ray
Lyndon
up
Arthur.
and back comes the man from Stratford. And he
Listen,
We had
like
the
I
legs
said,
all over
man,
the place. We recovered.
Bradley Ray just slowed down the pace.
And look at the fire
couldn't
back
slow the
again
pace
under
down.
pressure.
Oh, he nods.
He didn't really punish Lyndon Arthur. Look at that right hand again from
Let's have
Lyndon
a
Arthur.
scrap. Body shot from Ray. What a terrific fight.
Body shot there from Ray. The referee said he was a little bit low with that
Lyndon
right.
Arthur just sort of nullifying and grabbing hold of Ray to stop that work.
Uppercut again from Arthur, using his experience in close and a right hand as well. Can Lyndon Arthur turn this around?
Sometimes you know that I've got to close the gap, I've got to be aggressive. Sometimes
You
you
know
just
what you thought
walking
about the
forward like he is now, but it's too easy to hit here.
Yeah,
In
Lyndon
the
Arthur
safe
just
zone,
fought
if you
a
like.
very
Let the shots
mature,
go.
professional performance, you know,
Look at this from Brad.
against the young
The
guy,
back end of
Bradley
this
Ray,
round.
who perhaps maybe
He's throwing everything into
underestimated
it.
Lyndon
Arthur
Arthur,
matching him.
underestimated his grit,
Oh, body shot as well. What a
determination,
good
and
fight.
courage.
And it
Maybe he
leans
thought
back a
he
little
was
bit.
gonna
You know
win
he's
this
setting you up, so you know you've got to come forward, but you're also thinking, I don't want to fall into that trap.
Lyndon Arthur's got one or two late stoppages on the card, and he might
just
just
started
find
piecing him
something
up,
here.
man.
Brad Ray looking uncomfortable. 20 seconds
Arthur
left
started
in the
piecing up
10th.
Bradley Ray.
What a turnaround from Lyndon Arthur. Yeah, this is that trilogy. Tonight, he's put the performance of his life on. Right hand to finish it. Lyndon Arthur, take a bow. Surely the new year.
We go to the judges'
Yeah, that was a great
scorecards.
performance from Lyndon
Judge
Arthur.
Lee
I
Every
really
scores
enjoyed
it
He proved
114 to
me wrong once
114,
again.
even a draw.
I thought he was going to lose that fight. Easy.
Judge Victor Laughlin scores it 115 to 113. And Judge Mark
115,
Lyson scores it 115 to 112. Both for your winner by majority decision. And new EBU
Yeah, well done to the boy, man. Shout out to the boy,
European
Lyndon
Light
Arthur.
Heavyweight Champion.
Shout out to the boy Lyndon Arthur, man. I had him winning by 2 rounds as well, man. He just put on a great display, a very mature performance. He used all his experience from the past. He really neutralized Bradley Ray, you know? Really neutralized him. And Bradley Ray, he didn't help himself because a lot of the times he'll push Lyndon Arthur onto the ropes, but then he wouldn't really do nothing, you know? Like when you're pushing someone onto the ropes, once you got them, you really need to let your hands go. You can't just be in front of them and stay static. Hence why Lyndon Arthur was just popping the jab and popping the uppercut. And it was money all the time because there was hardly any movement or any change of intensity from Bradley Ray. You know, once you got someone cornered, let your hands go. Don't get too close where you smother your own work. Bradley Ray was getting close to Arthur. too close and then he smothered his own work. You need to give yourself a little bit of distance, a bit of space to really let your hands go. If you get too close, what are you going to do now? And all Arthur was doing, leaning back on the ropes, making a little gap, a little space, and letting the uppercut go. And that uppercut was money all night. So Bradley Ray needs to go back, do some homework, improve his game. I'm sure if they rematch, I think Bradley Ray, what he will do is he will keep up that intensity, fight at a high pace for a longer period in the rematch than he did in the first fight. So, yeah, Bradley Ray's young. He'll come back. But from Lyndon Arthur, what a story. What a story, man. Listen, let's get into the last one. I've been talking for a long time now. Over an hour. I think I've got another 20 minutes. 20 minutes. If you've got any questions, let me know, my people. If you got any questions, drop it down. If you're in the live, please smash the like, share the link, subscribe if you're new. Do all of that. You're really gonna help us to grow. We had Liam Cameron come on the live as well, and he's promised me he's gonna do an interview on the channel. So today's live has been really worth it, you know. Do you know what I mean? That's why people, you never know. Whatever you want to do in life, do it, man, because you just don't know who's watching, you know. Look, I'm doing the live today, and Liam Cameron just comes through on a random thing. But if I didn't do the live today, we're not getting Liam Cameron. Do you know what I mean? Next time, you don't know who's going to be watching. Maybe President Obama, President Trump. One of them guys might be watching. So listen, whatever you want to do in life, go ahead and do it. No matter how small you think you are, or you might think no one's watching, trust me, there's always someone watching, man. Always someone watching. Let me get some of the comments. The squared circle. Yo. The squared circle. Shout out to my boy, the squared circle, Joe Ojula. Shout out to Joe Ojula. Go check out his channel, man, the squared circle. One of the best brains in boxing. Again, he's big on TikTok as well. Go check out his TikTok. Joe on the jab. Very good, man. He knows what he's talking about. You know, if you want to know about the lower division fighters in the smaller divisions, Joe is your guy. In fact, any division. Joe is very, very clued on when it comes to boxing, man. I learned a lot from Joe. So shout out to Joe, the squared circle. Me and Joe, we're going to do something in it. We're going to, next week, I'm going to probably get Joe to come on the live as well. Do you know what I mean? So, Joe, join me next week. Next week, yeah, we'll talk. I like the way me and when it comes to like this boxing talk, when Joe is me and Joe, like we really complement each other. We go back and forth, and it's entertaining as well. So I'm gonna be bringing Joe defo next week. We're gonna do a live together, man, and we're gonna drop a couple of videos together as well because he knows what he's talking about when it comes to boxing, man. That's him there, Enzo Broski. What we saying? I'm good, bro. Hope you're good, man. I'll catch you on the next live, bro. Don't worry. I'll catch you on the next live. AB, anyways, bro, go ahead to bed. Have a good one, everyone. Yo, AB, thanks for coming through. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate your intakes. I appreciate your participation as well. Thank you so much. Have a good day at work tomorrow. Some of us are gonna go to bed soon as well. Fight sport talk. Happy to see Wardley versus Usyk. Yeah, listen, fight talk. I'm going to come back to that. Give me a sec. I want to come back to this question. Lastly, let's talk about the last fight on that card. Joshua Buatsi versus Zach Parker. I'm just going to say, like I'm going to say straight. I'm not even going to bang on about it because I've spent already a lot of time talking about nonsense. I was doing a watch along on the night of the fight. So I was watching it live. I was scoring the fight. And I scored it 2 rounds. I scored it 96-94 to Zach Parker. So I had Zach Parker winning. You know, you had other people on the zone, someone like Carl Frampton, former world champion, shout out to him, respect to him. He only gave Joshua Buatsi 1 round in that fight. So he was a 10-rounder. So he gave Zach Parker 9 rounds, which I don't agree with. I don't think Zach Parker won 9 rounds, you know. I don't think so because there were some rounds where, yes, you know, Zach Parker was boxing smart. He was popping the jab. Zach Parker was basically Olympic-style boxing. That's what he was doing. He was Olympic-style boxing, fighting on the back foot. He was using great footwork, great foot movement. His head movement was very good. I was very impressed, even though I found it very boring and very negative. However, it was effective, and it was working for him. And at times, he was making Joshua Buatsi look very silly in that ring. I mean, Joshua Buatsi, I'm going to come on to him in a minute. But Zach Parker made him look silly in there. And I feel like Zach Parker fought a very smart fight. It was a very smart game plan. Every time Joshua Buatsi got in close, he tied him up. He held him. And for me, I believe that he did enough. He did enough to win that fight. Now, I'm going to check out in a minute. I'm going to flip my screen. We're going to look at the CompuBox numbers for that fight because I want to see the volume of punches because I felt like that was a very low output, low volume fight in terms of the punches thrown. I feel like both men should have thrown more because it's not like they're that old. I think Joshua Buatsi is 32 years old. Zach Parker is 31. So they're still young. They should be way more active. But for both fighters, I would say Zach Parker threw the most effective shots. You know, he threw the cleaner shots and he looked better in the ring in terms of just his movement overall was better than Joshua Buatsi. Joshua Buatsi looked clumsy in there. Do you know what I mean? He looked like, at times, he looked very like an amateur boxer. Even though Joshua Buatsi has a very impressive amateur background, he did really well. I think he went to the Olympics as well. And he was tipped to be some of these big guys because I think he came out right about the same time as Anthony Joshua, I believe. So he was being bigged up as well, but he looked really silly. So for me, Zach Parker won that fight to me clearly. Like, he won it. But was it controversial? Was Zach Parker robbed? Let me know if you disagree with me as well. I don't think Zach Parker was robbed. Come on, we've seen some crazy robberies in boxing. We've seen some controversial decisions. I don't think that was as controversial as some people are making it out to be. Do I feel bad for Zach Parker? Yes, I do. Because I watched his post-fight interview and like I felt his pain because he mentioned his daughter. He mentioned like how him beating Joshua Buatsi and having the opportunity to fight for a world title, how that would have changed the life of his and his daughters. And I felt his pain. I felt his pain because he feels like the opportunity has been stolen from him. On that side, I really feel bad for him because he's right. A title fight, more money. More money. He can therefore change the life of his daughter. I feel his pain. Trust me, I would love to change the life of my kids, man. You know what I mean? I get it. But was he robbed? Like some of the robberies that we've seen in the past? Hell no. Come on. We've seen worse boxing decisions, worse box scoring from the judges in the past. Yeah? And this is what I come back to. It depends on what the judges are looking for. This is the problem that we have in boxing right now. We need more transparency from these officials. We need these judges to come out and explain how they're scoring these fights so that we can then have an understanding. Because when I was sitting at home watching the fight, how I was judging the fight, I had a 96-94 to Zach Parker. Carl Frampton had it 9 rounds to Zach Parker, gave Joshua Buatsi 1 round. I don't agree with that. Some people gave Joshua Buatsi 4 rounds. Everyone saw the fight different. Now, the judges, they scored it the other way to what I scored it. I scored it 96-94 to Zach Parker. One of the judges scored it a draw, 95-95, and the other 2 overruled him, hence why it was a majority decision. They scored it 96-94, 96-94 to Joshua Buatsi. And some people want to be crazy about that, but the reason why we're having all these conversations because there's no transparency, there's no clarity in boxing. What are the criterias that these judges are scoring the fight by? What is it? Because in the amateurs, we do the point scoring, right? The point, you know, if you're jabbing, if you're boxing well. In the amateurs, they don't really favor aggressors in the amateurs. In the amateurs, the judges are looking at the style that you're fighting. Is your head movement correctly? Are you popping the jab well? They're looking at, in the amateurs, they're judging you, they're scoring it by technique, how you're throwing the shots, point scoring. That's how they judge it. But in a professional game, how are these referees scoring these fights? Like, seriously, let me know in the comments here. Is there criteria? Like, in the UFC, there's a clear criteria on how the judges score the fights. If you take someone down, you get a point for it. If you take someone down and you're doing the ground and pound and you're landing and you're doing damage, you get more points for it. They reward you for that. But if you take someone down in a UFC, I'm talking MMA here, you take them down, but you just lay on them and you're not doing no damage, you don't get no points. You don't get no points. But if the guy that's on the ground is throwing elbows and is cutting you up, even though you're on top, they score it, they're giving the points to the guy on the ground because he's doing damage. So a lot of the fights in the UFC, you get points. The judges favor the fighter that's creating the most damage, that's doing the most damage. So in the UFC, in MMA, there's clear criteria, there's guidelines in which judges have to follow when they're scoring fights. Because UFC had the same problem as boxing. So the way the UFC just got rid of it is by setting criteria on how judges have to score fights. They have to follow that criteria. So there's less of these type of controversies in the UFC. They've cleaned the house up. Do you know what I mean? They've tidied things up. In boxing, I don't know what the hell we're waiting for, because boxing is a multi-billion-dollar industry, mate. Look how much money boxing generates. Why is boxing still living in the medieval times? Why is boxing not moving in with the technology that we have right now? Why we wait? What's the point of having technology but boxing won't adapt technology into the sport? It just don't make no goddamn sense, man. Look how much money is on the line. Look how much like a decision can impact someone's life. A bad decision from a referee could just kill someone's career. People are still talking about the Joseph Parker and Fabio Wardley. Like, should the referee, should Howard Foster step in? I disagree with that. He shouldn't have stepped in. But then because we don't have technology, like the referee doesn't even have a chance to look back. If we do what football do, and NBA and rugby, we have VAR, video assisted referee. We could stop some of these bad decisions from referees. We can take some of that responsibility away from them. The referee's there, obviously, to officiate, to stop a fighter getting hurt badly. They're there for that. But some referees, they let a fighter get battered, like Tyson Fury against Alexander Usyk in the 9th round of the first fight. He was getting battered from pillar to post, and the referee allowed it. But Joseph Parker took less damage than Tyson Fury. The referee stopped it because the last 5 shots from Fabio Wardley didn't even land. They were all missed, but the referee still stopped it. So there's no guidelines on the referees, how they stop fights anyway. There's no clear guidelines. There's no transparency. So boxing really needs to clean up its act. Boxing needs to get its house in order. It doesn't make no sense. These guys are generating millions. If you look at a Riyadh season card, yeah, the marketing alone is about $2 million, man. Do you know what I mean? Like the shows that Riyadh season put on, they're worth millions. Forget what the fighters are earning for the night. The production and everything like that, all the advertisement that they do, like the trailer for the fights, this costs millions, man. So why is the officiating costing a couple grand? It doesn't make no sense, bro. Does not make no sense. You know, it reminds me like if someone's like driving like a Lambo, yeah, but you live in a bloody council estate, bro. The math ain't mathing, bro. How are you driving a Lambo? Do you know what I mean? Your house is worth like 200K, man. Your car is worth more than your house, bro. Your flat. Make it make sense, bro, man. Do you know what I mean? Like that's an example that I can use. Like that's an analogy that I can use. Boxing is a multi-billion-dollar sport. It's about time the officiating and the regulations match what the sport is worth, matches what these fighters are worth. Because these dumb decisions that we keep talking about is having a negative impact on the lives of the fighters, mate. These guys work so hard, they're putting so much work in the gym. A stupid decision from a referee who's probably never fought their whole life can just take everything away from them. And that is not fair. That is not fair. And I'm going to go back to this fight, Buatsi versus Parker. I had Parker winning it. Most of us had Parker winning it. But the thing is, yeah, we don't know how the hell these judges are scoring these fights. We have no idea, no clarity on the criteria that these fighters are scoring these fights. We need to know, what are the criteria that you're scoring these fights? Because it can't be that all of us have different scorecards, man. There has to be a clear criteria. If they put out clear criteria on how these fights are being judged, then us at home can follow these criteria, and there will be less noise after the fights, less controversy. And also, let's hold these officials accountable. Let's hold the referee accountable. Let's hold the judges accountable. So after every fight, if there's a controversial decision that people like in the crowd are booing and the fight is protesting, we need to hear from the judges. Okay, Judge Jones, why did you score it 115, 112 to fighter A? Judge Patrick, why did you score it to fighter B? Explain to us. If that judge goes, yeah, listen, he landed, these jabs, mate, at least we're going to have a clear idea what the hell these guys are on about, mate. Okay, Mr. Howard Foster, why the hell did you stop the fight, Joseph Parker versus Fabi Wardley? Because as we can see in the camera on the video here on the replay, Wardley didn't land 5 of the shots, but you still stopped it. Why did you stop it? Mr. Howard Foster, tell us. Then he can explain themselves. At least we can have some clarity from these officials. It's not going to make us happy. It might not change the outcome. The fight is done. But at least if these guys are explaining their decisions, at least we can understand them more. We can see where they're coming from. We can relate to them a little bit more. But if they're not doing it, then we're left at home scratching our heads, man. And then you leave room for conspiracy theorists. You leave room for people that are going to say, oh, boxing is corrupt, etc., etc. Brown envelopes are being passed around, even though I don't believe that happens. But there are some people that truly believe boxing is corrupt. The only way we can eliminate these type of faults is by being more transparent. And the regulators, people that run the sport of boxing, need to come to this realization and make the changes. Make the changes. Because boxing still lives in the past at all levels. The way the whole boxing operates at all levels, trust me, I'm at your boxing coach. I go around gyms, man. I go around shows. I see how boxing's operating from the top to the bottom up. It's so in the past, is behind every single sport, in my opinion. Like, it's behind rugby, behind football, behind basketball, behind netball. Mate, boxing's behind, mate. We have so much technology. We have AI. We have everything. But boxing just doesn't want to adapt. Boxing doesn't want to come into the 21st century, mate. We have so many cameras around the ring, covering every single angle, but yet boxing doesn't want to use VAR. Boxing don't want to use video assistance referees. Why? It makes no goddamn sense. That could eliminate a lot of these touchy subjects. There's a lot of these topics that fighters are, fans get aggravated by. That pisses everyone off. You could get rid of it. But the people that run boxing, nah, they don't want to know, mate. They're still stuck in medieval times, mate. And if you look at a lot of these guys in suits that run boxing, they're so out of touch, man. You know what I'm talking about. These guys are so out of touch, man. They're just like, there's no diversity when it comes to ideas, mate. It just looks like it's a club for the lads, It's the same old people, bruv, that run the sport. We need some fresh blood in there, some new ideas, mate. That's what we need in boxing, yeah? I'm not going to rant too much no more. But Joshua Buatsi, for me, lost. I've seen him do interviews today, and he's talking about, oh, I won. Bro, you know you lost, yeah? Joshua Buatsi, trust me, my bro. I like Joshua Buatsi. I've got nothing against Joshua Buatsi. I think he's a very talented fighter, Joshua Buatsi. I just feel like the last 2 fights, he's been very underwhelming. I mean, I rate his performance against Callum Smith. He showed me grit. He showed guts. He showed that he can hang in there with some of the best fighters in the world. But he also showed me that maybe he's not as good as we perhaps thought Joshua Buatsi is. And after this fight against Zach Parker, I really believe that Joshua Buatsi has reached his ceiling, mate. Joshua Buatsi might just be British level. Because I used to think Joshua Buatsi can make that transition from British level to world level. But when he met Callum Smith, we saw the levels, mate. We saw the levels. And when I'm talking about Joshua Buatsi, it's not just ability. I'm talking more adaptability as well. Like, you get to a certain level, you have to be able to adapt. And Joshua Buatsi just doesn't seem like he can adapt in fights, man. He can't make adjustments. Joshua Buatsi is so frustrating. One thing I find so frustrating about Joshua Buatsi is that the way he fights from round 1, he fights the same way throughout the whole fight, mate. Same pace, same intensity from round 1 all the way to round 12, mate. If you want to be a champion, if you got title ambitions, if you want to be a world-class fighter, you have to be able to adapt. You have to be able to make adjustments during the fight, mate. The best fighters in the world make adjustments. Joshua Buatsi doesn't make adjustments, mate. Against Zach Parker, in which point in that fight did Joshua Buatsi make adjustments? In which point in that fight did Joshua Buatsi up the intensity? In which point in that fight did Joshua Buatsi up the pace? He fought the same from round 1 all the way to round 10. It was a 10-rounder. He made it easy for Zach Parker to just pop shot him. He made it easy. When he had to up the intensity and throw more hands, he just didn't do it. And I truly believe, Joshua Buatsi and Virgil Hunter is not a good match. It's not a good match. I like Virgil Hunter. I rate him as a coach. Like, he had Andrew Ward. He had Andrew Ward for years. Like, so Andrew Ward is one of the greatest fighters of all time. Very, very skilled fighter. One of the best fighters of his era. So Virgil Hunter coached him. So we have to respect him. But I just feel like him and Joshua Buatsi is just a bad fit. Joshua Buatsi needs a high-intensity coach. He needs a coach that will just light up that fire in his belly again. He needs a coach that will make him do an extra 3 miles, run an extra 3 miles a week. Do you know what I mean? That will make him skip a bit more. That will make him hit the bags longer. That will make him do more pads because he needs to up the intensity. I think Joshua Buatsi would really suit someone like a Derek James or even Bomac. Derek James or Bomac, Terence Crawford's trainer, coach, he needs to go one of them guys. If he's got ambitions of fighting for a title again, he has to. Because the winner of that fight on Saturday, Zach Parker versus Joshua Buatsi, the winner, they're talking about fighting against the winner of David Benavidez versus Anthony Yard. Now, based on that performance on Saturday, neither guys has a chance, mate. I know Joshua Buatsi won. He got no chance. I'm going to keep it real. And I like Joshua Buatsi. He's got no chance against David Benavidez. David Benavidez, he's got one thing David Benavidez has, is quick hands, mate. He throws volumes, mate. He throws volumes. And Zach Parker, he was throwing slow jabs there. Zach Parker was throwing slow punches and he was still catching Joshua Buatsi. So can you imagine what David Benavidez would do to him? Anthony Yard, again, has quick hands. Not as quick as Benavidez, but he has quick hands. Quicker hands than Joshua Buatsi. And Anthony Yard can crack. He's got power. How many times did Zach Parker hit Joshua Buatsi on Saturday night? Plenty of times, mate. He was hitting him at will. So you really think Anthony Yard won't crack him? Anthony Yard will crack him. Anthony Yard is way more powerful than Zach Parker. That right hand of Anthony Yard, man, he's going to drop Joshua Buatsi. So Joshua Buatsi, for me, he needs to change his coach. He needs a different trainer to take him to that next level. Virgil Hunter has done a good job with him, but I think they've kind of reached the end of that relationship. Joshua Buatsi needs to move on because the last 2 performances, mate, he's got no chance, mate. He's got no chance at world level. You know, if you're struggling against Zach Parker, you can forget the Bivals, the Turbiev, mate. Those guys, they're savages, mate. They will absolutely, I don't want to say it. But anyways, my conclusion is Zach Parker won the fight. The only thing I'm going to say is maybe the way the judges were scoring that fight was maybe they looked at Zach Parker, the way he performed as in on the back foot the whole night. Yes, he was popping a jab, but how many times did Zach Parker end up on his knees in that fight? I mean, I counted maybe about 6 or 7 times he was on his knees. His tactics was very negative, but like I said, he was positive. And he done enough to win the fight. Now, maybe in the eye of the judges, they preferred Joshua Buatsi coming forward, even though he was missing a lot of the times, but they preferred the ring generalship control from Joshua Buatsi. They maybe thought Joshua Buatsi was the one trying to initiate contact. Joshua Buatsi was the one trying to win the fight. But I don't necessarily agree with judges scoring the fight like that because I'm a big Floyd Money Mayweather fan, and a lot of the times Mayweather was fighting on the back foot and just out scoring people. So if I like Mayweather fighting on the back foot, man, I have to also accept Zach Parker fighting on the back foot, mate, because he was effective. Now there's a difference fighting on the back foot and not landing anything and being negative, but fighting on the back foot and landing as well and being effective. I think fighters should be rewarded for that as well. But unfortunately for Zach Parker, he wasn't rewarded for fighting on the back foot and using a jab, using movement. The judges didn't like it, so they scored it against him. But was it a major robbery? Was it mad controversial? Not to me. Not for me, man. Not for me. But listen, Joshua Buatsi, he came out a winner, but I don't think his stock has risen, or I don't think he's converted anyone really. I think a lot of us, we think he's lucky where he was. For me personally, he's British level, Joshua Buatsi. I've seen enough in the last 2 fights to tell me that he's a British level fighter, man. I don't think, and listen, I'm not preying on his downfall or anything like that. I don't think Joshua Buatsi is gonna win a world title in light heavy, man. Not with the caliber of fighters and the talent that's in that weight division right now. I just don't see it. And I'm just keeping it real and being honest. But that's the end of that. I was gonna show the highlights, but mate, I've been here so long. I don't have the time, mate. You know what I mean? And let's just end it. Jake Paul versus Tank Davis. I'm hearing that Jake Paul versus Tank Davis, that might be postponed or cancelled because Tank Davis is facing some domestics. There's some things happening. I don't really like to get involved in the fighters' private lives, but listen, it's out in the public, so I'm going to touch on it a little bit. But yeah, apparently that fight is going to get cancelled. I don't really care. I'm just going to flip my screen for a sec. Like, I don't really care if the fight between Jake Paul and what's his name, Fake Paul gets cancelled, because I was never really invested in it in the first place. So I really don't care. It was exhibition fight anyway. It's not like it's a real fight. Let me Google it anyway. Jake Paul versus Tank Davis. Let's see what it's saying. What should I read it for? Let's go to Sports Illustrated. Whatever. The exhibition bout between Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis is seemingly in jeopardy as a replacement is being sought for Tank. Due to recent legal proceedings involving Gervonta Davis, his scheduled bout with Jake Paul, the problem child, is now looking increasingly unlikely. Most Valuable Promotions acknowledged the civil lawsuit filed against Davis in a recent statement where they revealed they will be making a determination concern next steps for the bout. It is now understood that an alternative opponent is being considered for Paul. Some names mentioned to fight the internet star include Ryan Garcia, Francis Ngannou, and Nate Diaz. Now, one fighter who has been linked to Paul on several occasions in the past has spoken about a potential fight with the problem child. Carl Froch, yes. Carl Froch. Yeah, of course, Carl Froch, the Cobra, he would love to fight Jake Paul, but he says it, but, you know, come on, Jake Paul, do it. But yeah, so it looks like Jake Paul might be cancelling his fight against Gervonta Davis because as you've heard what I just read out, Davis has got some domestics that he's going through right now. There's a lawsuit, so obviously that kind of impacts the fight depending on how that goes. So Jake Paul is looking for a different opponent. Francis Ngannou's being mentioned. I won't be surprised. I will not be surprised if he fights Francis Ngannou at all, man. That might happen, man. Whatever, but listen, I don't really care, man. Jake Paul is a gimmick anyway, man. He's a joker, man. I don't really care too much about him, but my people, that is it, man. That is it for today. I've been here for like, nearly 2 hours or whatever. Yeah, 2 hours, man. I really enjoy this live. Thank you to everyone who's come through. Thank you so much. What I'm going to do is, look, I'm going to say this. I do a live on YouTube every Monday. So Monday, 9 p.m., 9:30, I'm here, you know. So, you know, if you got any questions, whatever, you know, just come on EMGM Sports with your boy Enzo, the realest in the game. You know, we cover the weekend fights, you know. This is called the recap. We cover the weekend fights. You know, we talk boxing, innit? Boxing, MMA. If you got any questions, you know, regarding MMA or boxing, whatever, you know, write down your questions, bring it. And yeah, man, we can have that conversation. Also, what I'm going to do from next week, I'm going to start bringing in some guests so we can bounce ideas, have a conversation. I'll bring in some guests. And also what I'm going to do is I'm going to start bringing people in from the audience as well. So if you're not camera shy and you want to participate on the show, like, just let me know, man. Send me a DM on EMGM Sports. I'm on Instagram. Send me a DM. Or just when I put the link out, just write down a comment. And then if you want to come up, have a conversation, ask some questions, have a debate with me. Do you know what I mean? Some of you guys are boxing experts and you don't always agree with what I have to say. I want to bring you up, man. Like me, listen, I don't mind all the smoke. I'm the realest in the game. I don't mind all the smoke. So I'm going to bring you up. But you are going to have to turn your camera on. Like, do you know what I mean? If you feel like you can give the smoke or you want to have that conversation, you will have to turn your camera on. I want to see you. I want to see you see me. I see you. Do you know what I mean? And the whole world can see you as well. So you're going to have to put your camera on. So this is not for the people that are camera shy and shit like that, mate. If you want to keep your identity hidden, you won't be able to come up. The only way you're coming up to have a conversation with me and share your opinions, you have to be brave enough to show your face to the world, innit? It's only fair. It's only fair, man. Do you know what I mean? So that's from next week. Like I said, if you want to get involved, participate in the show, send me a DM, EMGM Sports on Instagram. You can find us, or you can DM me on TikTok, EMGM Sports. Send me a DM. And yeah, just let me know, you know, and then you can participate on the show from next Monday. So from next Monday, I want to start bringing people up. Let's have the conversation. I feel like it's important. Like I started this platform as a fan to give my opinions, to react to fights, to share my knowledge of boxing with everyone else. And some people don't have a platform. And, you know, if you want to have a platform, you can come on here. Like if you don't have your own YouTube channel, or even if you have your own YouTube channel, that's important as well. If you have a YouTube channel and you want to collaborate with Enzo, the realest in the game, feel free. Come through. Send me a DM. Let's collab. You know, one thing about me, like I like sharing ideas with others, you know, like we all love boxing, MMA, whatever, sports, even football. If you want to talk football, whatever, send me a DM or whatever, you know, message me. Let's link up. Let's link up, man. Let's grow. Let's grow together. Let's let's help each other grow, man. But yeah, that'll be next week, 9 p.m. or 9:30. I'll put a link up in the morning. But thanks so much to everyone who came through. If you're just joining the live or if you're watching the live later because you're busy, you're at work, whatever, please don't forget to smash the likes. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. Share the link with your friends, family, enemies, everybody. I don't care. If you're not any aliens, share the link with the aliens, mate. I take any fan, mate. Do you know what I mean? So, but yeah, do all the above. I really appreciate it. My people, I'm done. I've done enough talking. I hope you enjoy the show. But yeah, we're here, we're growing, and I'm heading towards the next target is 4,000. 4,000 subs. I've been doing this now, dropping boxing content for like a year now, a solid year, where I've been grinding, as in dropping videos every single week. I think I drop at least a video every day, one video every single day. So the consistency is there. I want to get to 4,000 by the end of this year. So by the end of this year, I want to get to 4,000, you know. That'll be a nice ending for me. So you can help me get there by subscribing, sharing, liking. I can't emphasize it enough. The little that you do, the little likes, when you comment, when you share, when you subscribe, it might not look like much to you, but trust me, the way YouTube and the algorithm works, it means a lot to me and the channel. Because everything that you do goes towards the algorithm, growing the channel. So I really appreciate if you do that. Thanks to everyone who's come through. I really appreciate you. And if I didn't read out your question or your comments, whatever, I am going to do it on the next show. So keep the questions. You know, if you're watching this later, keep the questions. I'm going to read it on the next show. Last comment I want to read out. Mojib, good stuff, brother. Got yourself a new sub. Thank you so much, Mojib. I really appreciate my brother. But guys and girls, I'm done. Thank you so much for coming through. I'll see you on the next stream. Next week, Monday. Make sure you're here. Meet me here at 9 p.m. Yeah, bring your questions along. It should be fun. But in the meantime, enjoy the videos that I'm going to be dropping on the channel. Thank you so much. I'll catch you on the next one, my people. Peace.